hear me from time to time refer to this as Flamingo Road, which me and some other guys years ago nicknamed it Flamingo Road because there was a couple of flamingos at someone's driveway, but been sticking with us ever since. But I call it the hill. And I grew up on this hill, and it's needs to be bush hogged right now, but and there's the trees that get killed from my house fire. I lost 4 humongous 80-year-old pines. My grandmother's crepe myrtles, great-grandmother's crepe myrtles. Big pecan tree, been there for ages. It's a really nice deep water well over there, good water. I'm going to try to harvest some plants from my great-grandmother's yard this year. They're still coming up. She's been dead since 1976. But plants are still going strong. So being the one in our family, it turned out to be a little nostalgic, I guess. I have, since I moved back here, been gathering up all the information and artifacts about my family that I can, because honestly, growing up, we were told nothing about our extended families, and I don't know them to this day, and I hate that. I don't know if you can see my pond down there. I hear the spillway rushing, which means I still have that water problem from last year, because it never really got dry enough for me to get enough dirt down there to get it done. Now this bothers me. See this right here? Strong box. I know where I put that, and it wasn't right there. It came out of there. It's actually an old voting box. This English ivy, I want to get some of it. This barnwood, this is my great-grandfather's old blacksmith shop. I'm going to use this barnwood on the outside of my new home for siding. It's going to be made actually out of a barn, and if it turns out like it's supposed to in my mind, it's going to be great. But that's always something that remains to be seen. You know how Pat's mine is. But that old wood right there is so awesome. There's no way I'm letting it get away. No way. I was hoping I could show you about a 110-year-old rocking chair that was homemade if I can get to it. We'll go around this way because there are some plants in the ground over here that are just beautiful when they come up. I'll try to get some of them this year that I'm back into my plants. There's some right there. I don't know what their breeds are, but they're definitely going to flower. She has flowering clover. I don't know if mine flowers or not. She had running roses in here. They're just beautiful. And I've been trying to get one from my mom to take, and I finally did. I got to wait till it gets a little bit longer. Then I'll give it to her. Hopefully she'll be happy. God, I hate to see this house like this. I'm trying to get everything out of it before it's all gone. See all those plants? Everything used to be immaculate. Inside that room right there is preserved and looks as if the day that it was made. It is made with shiplap and it has not gotten wet, and it is absolutely in pristine condition. There's a bottle of arsenic in there. Right? When was that illegal? I used to remember in around 1973 or 4, I was 3 or 4, eating cereal in the mornings with my great-grandfather. He would always eat grape nuts. And I remember at the kitchen table looking out through the glass that was hand blown. And so it was wavy. And I just have fond memories of that. Following him around in the garden and him pulling a potato out of the ground, wiping it off on his overalls and handing it to me. And I ate it. I don't know what this has been holding that window up back there for God knows how long. But I didn't know why I should allow more moisture in that room than I needed to. Gee, yeah, I done got in here and got him up. Punta. I don't give a damn about getting stuck with thorns. I hate cold water. I have a reason behind that, though. Hating the cold water. My sisters tried to kill me on this goddamn porch right here. There used to be a swing, and they'd get to swinging. And then they would throw me across here and I'd land on my hands and knees. See, look at some of this. See that that's shiplap that's destroyed. There is some inside that is impeccable, though. Are y'all brave enough to take a trip in with me? I'm the only one that's come in this house since probably, it's been 20 years, and I'm the only one that's been in here. Well, except for my cousin, Craig Seacrop. He'd come in here and sit and drink beer sometimes and hang out. I miss him. Need to get that dresser to somebody that needs it. It's a good one. Big ass. There's some old stuff in here. Check it. That thing, handmade, so old. I love it. Old record player. God, it just breaks my heart. Because I'll tell you, of everybody in the family, I have more memory of these folks than anybody, and I was the youngest. But having a photographic memory does, help that a lot. But I remember these people as if they were, so vivid to me. I love some of the doorknobs. They're classic. Okay. This is the root cellar. That's what I was telling you about a minute ago. That's a homemade Space Saver vanity. We had some talented people in this particular set of the family. There was an extraordinary seamstress, which was my great-grandmother. Extraordinary, and cook. My grandfather was a blacksmith, could work with metal, wood, and he was also a farmer. My uncle, who had only one leg and no fingers, built his own wooden leg, was a school teacher, and sculpted and put chairs inside of bottles. And they are sought after to this day. His name was Chester Holt. And then got back and found out, after finding some oil paintings, that, we had people that could paint. And then I got to thinking, well, maybe it's not that far-fetched that I might have a talent. Even though it's hard to get that vote sometimes around my place. I might have to take this piece with me right now. My first birthday. Don't it look like I'm shooting the bird? Love it. Love it. Oh man, look at this. So sad. I remember going to an outhouse. That's how long ago. So that's pretty amazing. And I just found something very useful. You see that fan right there? The fan's no good, but that blade is on a nice set of bearings that will make a hell of a good wind generator. And then there is a headstone with the name of Ramsey, which is my great-grandmother's maiden name. I'm not sure why it's here. And of course, no one in their conversations seem to want to talk about it. So how about a little toothache medicine? A little bit of what ails you. See, this is looking pretty rough up here, and you will fall through here. That room, when it fell in, it destroyed everything in there except one thing, and that was the Last Supper, hanging on the wall where it always had been my whole life. I took it off the wall, carried it home, cleaned it up, and it now resides with PAT. I wish some others cared about this stuff, and see, one of these days, they're going to say, hey, where'd you get all that cool stuff? Pilfering through that house. Now, hey, that is retro like a mother right there. PAT got to have it. I just got to have that. There ain't no sunshine, she's gone. She's always gone to me. Anytime she goes away. Alright. Make me a little bucket here. Things to carry. I think that'd be pretty good for planting some plants here. Oh man. I'm going to come back and get that, I think, with something a little more substantial that ain't so wet. I don't want to drop and break that glass. I got one shot at that. This was that glass I used to stare out of and eat breakfast right there. That used to be a view out to the old pecan tree. There was a well right outside there too. Within where I'm standing right now, there were 3-4 wells. And I hope when I have my resident residential area built, I'm going to have 5 of those wells working, but maybe not in the capacity folks think. Check out all the locks, and I do have the keys. These are skeleton keys for them. I love pilfering. I can't believe all this. I see stuff like this. I remember this, eating candy out of it at Christmas time. And I mean, I was 6 when the last one of them died. And it was my great-grandma. She just refused to have treatment on the cancer. She was ready to go home and see great-granddaddy. She lived about a year after he passed away. She died of a broken heart, I do believe. Or at least that's the way I like to think about it. I'm going to gather a few things up. We'll talk to y'all soon. Right there was a garage for my great-great-grandparents. Then it got turned into a horse feeding barn. And then I had to put some chickens in it one time for my son. I saw the biggest snake outside of a reptile zoo I've ever seen, right there inside that blue box. That blue box will sit there until it rots down. I hit this thing with a humongous shovel, and the shovel wasn't as wide as his head. He's about 8 feet long, maybe longer. Big chicken snake. There's the water well and pump right there. That used to supply water to 3 houses, that one well. And there's 6 of them on this property. Did have some feral cats, but I don't see them anymore. Yeah, my great-grandmother used to keep this impeccable. All these crepe myrtles were beautiful. Her yard was always wonderful. She had different smells, and there's some garlic I'm going to try to get back here that's still coming up this year. And now that I'm getting better about transplanting and cloning, I may be able to get this rose. I've been trying for 8 years to get it to take, and I got to get it sooner. It's going to be gone.